Wait a minute. Who elected you leader of this outfit?
Well, Pete, I figured I should be the one with the capacity for abstract thought. But if that ain't the consensus view, then hell, let's put it to a vote.
Suits me. I'm voting for yours truly.
Well, I'm voting for yours truly, too.
Okay. I'm with you, fellas.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 7 of the Burning Ewok podcast. Lucky number 7. We've made it this far. I am one of your hosts, Justin Granz, and with me is...
Chuck Fisher. Hi, how's it
And...
going?
And Dan Mendra.
Hey, guys. So, happy May. Spring. Almost summer.
Yeah.
Here we go. I feel like it's been a while since we've recorded. Doesn't it feel like it's been a while, or does it feel like it's been a week? I don't know.
We recorded last week, didn't
We did. We recorded last week. It just feels like we haven't recorded in a while. I don't know. Maybe I just miss you guys. I just miss you guys, and I just wanted to...
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, there you go. So what's new? Right before we started, you guys are doing your... I think we should start off by let's put an end cap on Fallout for now. You guys started your second playthroughs, and we were kind of at that point. How far did you guys get this week?
I didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything.
I got some interesting thoughts. I'm on episode 7 right now with my wife. She's watching it, and because I wanted to see like if she would get into it. And she likes it. I don't think she's like as in love with it as I am.
I did see your wife dress up as a vault dweller about 15 years ago for Halloween.
Yeah,
though.
it was more kind of. She did it for me. But
That's true love.
My buddy Bob at work is watching it, and he's into it, and Renee's getting it. Like Renee's like, I don't even have to explain stuff to her. She's just picking it up. But like another buddy of mine, he was like, he watched the first episode, and he felt like he was lost, and I'm like, really?
My wife's been watching it with me. My second playthrough. We're like episodes 4 or 5 right now, so we're like right in the middle of it. And they just went into the other vault.
Oh, Vault 4.
They just went into Vault 4. So
that's episode 6, maybe?
Something, yeah. So maybe we're a little further along than I thought. Yeah, but like, I don't think there's any the show is good enough that you don't need to be a game player to understand what's going on. You just miss the nuance. That's all.
Yeah, I was just wondering though, like, that's why I wanted to see like my buddy Bob's watching. He played like the Vault game on your phone, He never played the actual real games. But quick question for you. I was, that they come across that one ghoul who's like he's turning.
Yeah.
And they end up like eating him and whatnot. But the scene where they're in the bar and he's meeting with his friend who's like Native American or whatever, the Native American actor, they're in the bar.
Okay.
On the TV is a newscaster, and I swear it's the same guy. It's the guy that later, it's the guy that turned. I think it's the guy, dude.
That's pretty good.
I caught that this time.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, and that's why they know each other, because they're both back from so long. Although he does make the point of saying that you've been along for a really, really long time. Like, how do you do it?
It's not the Indian guy. It's the guy from the news, the guy that was the newscaster on the TV in the background.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't catch that.
I didn't. I've watched it. This is like almost my third time watching it.
So I don't think that's the same guy.
You don't think it's the same guy?
No, I don't think it is. But it wouldn't be the first time that like Bethesda has done that. So
it could be the same actor, maybe, and just like, but they're not the same character.
Yeah, I don't think the same character. I went to the Fallout wiki to check it out, and there's no mention of it being the same character.
That's pretty quick Google food there, Dan.
Nice work.
Yeah, well, Fallout 4 actually has something like that in it. If you remember in Fallout 4, when you get on the elevator to go down into the vault when the bombs drop,
Uh-huh.
there's like a whole bunch of people that can't get into the vault.
Right.
Later on, you come across them as feral ghouls, and they show up with the same names when you hover over them.
Oh, really?
The people around there, yeah. So they try and attack you, and you can either kill them or run away and let them live.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I watched a video this week on YouTube. It was like a screen theory, film theory kind of thing, and they broke down based on the very beginning of the show the yields of each bombs based on the building heights, where he was standing, where you can see the observatory, and they figured the bombs were just about 1 kiloton each, and that
I love it. I love it.
right, and that because in New Vegas he talks about Mr. Big or whatever, he talks about like there were 77 missiles aimed at just Vegas. So the mass destruction really comes from the amount of missiles that were launched, because they weren't huge bombs. They were fairly small, actually. So.
Did we talk about last week, speaking of New Vegas, that the Rob Corp
Robco
representative was Mr. House? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did. I mentioned it.
and Mr. House, yes. Yeah,
I did not catch that until later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that entire room's filled with all the people that you read about in the vaults. It's pretty
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, so I'm watching with my wife. She's liking it. She really likes it. She thinks it's great. Because it's fun. It's good. I think it. And my dad called me up. He watched it also, and he's like, "That show was great."
I want my parents to watch it, but my dad won't be able to hack the blood, man.
It's really gory. I can get that. It's really gory. If you don't like gore, it can be unsettling.
When the dude takes his sock off and his toes are just dangling.
He puts the sock back on. That's the best part.
Yeah, I love it. He just puts the sock on and then walks and continues on walking.
He's walking.
Yeah.
I like the. Yeah.
So, all right. Fallout. I'm just gonna finish that. My second run through on that. I did afterwards finish Invincible. So finish season 2 of Invincible on Amazon Prime. Again, I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to watch something super solid, watch Invincible. Fantastic stuff. So it does not disappoint getting through this 2 seasons of that. So I finished that. But what I did some other stuff. I went to a concert last night. And like I said, this is going to be the year of concerts for me. I went and saw a concert done in a way I have never seen a concert done before. And it made me very excited to hope that I'll see another concert like this again. So I saw the band Primus, A Perfect Circle, and Pussifer. And Pussifer and Perfect Circle are Maynard James Keenan's other bands other than Tool. So it's the lead singer of Tool. He's got a couple other bands, people from all over the place that have kind of played with him in those bands. And so the 3 bands formed a group called Sesenta and went on tour together. And how it worked is the stage had 2 tiers in it. And the top tier were 3 different drum sets. And then down below were all the other instruments and a bunch of other stuff too.
Cool.
And everybody came out at once. Or they kind of trickled out in so the first band that came out was Perfect Circle. And they came out and the one drummer up there was there. And then the rest of the band was down below. And then you'd see there were couches all over the stage too. And so people were then just kind of sitting in the couches from the other bands. And they'd finish about 3 or 4 songs, and then Primus would come on the stage, and then they'd play 3 songs, and then Pussifer would, and they would just keep rotating through, and sometimes they'd play together, and sometimes they would, and it was just like, so there's no opening act. The show, the ticket said starts at 7:30. They were out at 7:30. The show started at 7:30, and they just ripped through this set, and it was fantastic. It was just a really cool way to experience a concert. It just to see like, you know, 3, I mean, these are like top level musicians doing their thing, and you know, so I don't know if any band can do this, but I just, like, if you think of, like, you know, 2 or 3 bands that are together that you know and like, that, you know, hang out and everything, just do something like that, just amazing. Like, I could see like if Soundgarden back in the day was still around, and you have Pearl Jam and then Temple of the Dog, it'd be like that, and all of them were on stage and they just start jamming with each other and moving around. Fantastic. They played about an hour and a half, and then they did like a 10-minute intermission, and then came out and played for like another 45 minutes or so.
That's awesome.
Or hour, I don't know. It was just awesome. So yeah. So I'm a big fan of the doing it that way, instead of like come out, play 45 minutes, then sit around for a half hour, and then somebody else comes out for, you know, the main act. Way better doing it this way. So
that sounds really cool. Was it at the Riv?
No, it was at the Wintrust Arena, which is like right off of McCormick Place. It's where the Chicago Sky play, and who else plays there? I don't know. They have like I think maybe DePaul might play there too. So yeah, it was a little small, perfect sized place. The sound was pretty good. I would totally recommend going there. It's not the easiest place to get to, but what are you gonna do?
My kids and their cousins, they went down. Down to the Riv while I was in Africa. They didn't see a concert. They saw a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I don't even.
No, it's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah.
I was walking down in the city with Will past the Vic Theater, and this is like 2 years ago, and I think we were going to Blue Man Group, and so the Vic Theater is right by the Briar Street Theater, and we walked past Vic, and one of the YouTubers that he liked was on the screen, like, coming in next week, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get a picture." So he took a picture of his So, but is that any different than like when you went and saw My Brother and Me?
No, probably not. But it's interesting because Ellie said that it started with like just clips of Minecraft, like blown up on on a screen. Okay. And it was just because that's kind of how he started. He was a Minecrafter at first. So yeah, she said it was awesome and that it was really funny because he kind of told his life story. Yeah, it was like a one-man, and kind of like a one-man play kind of thing. But
that's
she said it was awesome. She had a good time.
At the Riv, though, did they have seats on the floor then and everything?
Said they had seats. I'm like, man, they had seats when I went there.
Yeah, they put seats in sometimes. When I saw Chris Cornell there, they put seats in.
Oh.
But then when I was just there last year. And they did not have seats there, and there was an actual mosh pit.
Really?
I saw body surfing. I was up in the balcony. I didn't want to deal with it. I'm too old
for that.
Addie,
she just had prom. Well, she went to a different school's prom, but she loves the mosh pit. She loves it.
Is it a real mosh pit at prom?
Yeah, it's probably a lot different than.
Yeah, a mosh pit at prom.
Yes, at least. That's how she describes it to me.
So okay, so did she so what did she describe? I want to know what a Zoomer's definition of a mosh pit is.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine it's just where all the people are like really actively dancing. You know, where like people around the edges are just kind of standing there, and there's like in the middle everybody's like going nuts. You know, like freaking like the Matrix, you know, when they're all like having that huge,
like the big rave in Matrix 2.
Yeah, the big rave, yes.
Yeah.
Or like let's combine the Matrix mosh pit with Carrie, and we get the Blade rave.
Oh,
there you go.
Blood coming out of the freaking sprinklers. Oh, dude,
that's such a good scene, man.
Man, I forgot about that. That's been a while.
Dude, it's an underrated comic book movie.
No, you're talking about Blade 2, if I remember right, correct?
No, it was the first Blade.
That was First Blade.
Was
Yeah.
it the first Blade? I think the second
Yeah.
one was the best of those movies.
Really? I never saw the second one.
Second one I think is better than the first one. First one was good. I like the second one better. Third one I didn't really care for.
The third one is what's his name? Ryan Reynolds, right? Ryan Reynolds as Gambit, right?
No.
What?
Yeah, isn't Ryan Reynolds in Blade 3?
Look that up right now.
Okay,
Blade-
somebody Google Foo that for us. If you're in the
I-
chat, go ahead and put something in there. We're gonna pretend like we're live streaming.
Sure.
So if you're in the chat
He's
and
in Blade 3 Trinity.
he
And
very well could be, but
he
who
plays
does he?
Hannibal King.
Well, that's not Gambit. It's not even close to Gambit.
No, it's not. But yeah, he's in Blade 3. It's his first Marvel.
Wow.
Well, they're rebooting it, so.
They may not. They may not actually.
Oh, really?
Hey, if they announce, they're so terrible with announcing stuff and everything. Like ever since like COVID screwed up their schedule, half the things that they've announced haven't come to fruition, or they've shelved it. And we were already supposed to have Secret War come out, and Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Like Fantastic Four should have been coming out this month, I think, according to the original plan. So yeah, everything's messed up. But yeah, the Blade script it got rewritten. The director dropped out. I don't even know if the same actor is going to be on it anymore. I'm not a huge Blade guy, so I don't really care.
Mahershala Ali is Blade.
Still,
There are rumors that he has a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
oh yeah. Well, there's a rumor about everybody in there.
He has a cameo in that movie as Blade.
And I don't know if you guys know who Rob Liefeld is. Do you guys know who Rob Liefeld is?
Oh, look at that.
Rob Liefeld, while you're looking up, I'll tell you who he is. Rob Liefeld is the comic book artist who created Deadpool.
Yeah,
So he wrote New Mutants and X-Force, like the original X-Force. So a lot of those characters that you see especially in Deadpool 2, like those are actual X-Force characters, some of them. He also created Cable. So he's in on they always like bring him in for consulting. He's been on the sets of all the Deadpool movies, and he's got a great podcast. So Rob, if you're listening, thank you. You have a great podcast. You should come on ours. We could do an interview. We'll talk about stuff. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna talk like we have like 7,000 listeners a minute. So
someday we might.
yeah, we might, and they're gonna go back and go like, man, he predicted all of that on episode 7. I'm just happy I got the episode number right too. Anyway, so Rob Liefeld saying that the stinger at the end of Wolverine and Deadpool is so amazing, it's going to blow everybody away, and he cannot believe that they actually were able to film it and that nobody knew that they were doing it. So the rumors are going nuts. Like, okay, so is it Robert Downey Jr.? Is it, and then Chris Evans show up and like doing that thing? But apparently Chris Evans is also going to be in this too, because he's rumored to be the Human Torch in it. Because if you remember the original Fantastic Four movies that came out in the early aughts, Chris Evans was the Human Torch.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so like there's rumors that version's going to be there. The movie's just going to be fun, so I'm excited. I really like that new trailer. We talked a little bit about it last week, but like a lot of analysis and a lot of things like came out of that. People picking apart every single Easter egg that was in it. Yeah.
Like the most watched trailer of all time or something like that.
I think it like hit the most views like right away, like really, yeah.
Wow.
I did another Star Wars tournament. And this might be the last one for a while too. So I went to Griffo Nest Games, giving them another shout out over in Woodstock, Illinois, and got 2 out of 3 matches. So I went up against the guy at the end who had also 2 wins, and he just kicked me up and down the street. I just had a terrible draw. But it was the last game where I could get packs, where you do like a draw, and it's the coolest tournament. I don't know if I talked about it here before, but how it works is everybody grabs a pack, you open it up, you pull the card you want out of it, and pass the pack down to the next person. and you have to build your deck that way. So everybody builds until you have a 30-card deck, and those are the only cards you can play with.
Well, you don't want to be the last guy in that line.
No, because like if there's 6 people, everybody picks a pack up. So everybody has a pack and starts with a fresh pack. So then like if there's 6 people or 10 people, you got 10 packs, and 10 packs move around until there's no cards left in those packs.
So these packs, they have hero cards, right? Like usually like a Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or whatever, right? What would you call that?
So there's leaders. So they have leaders. Every pack has a leader and a location, and you actually pull those 2 cards out. You throw the locations in the center because anybody can use any location. The rules are even if you don't have the location card, a common location card can be subbed in because all you're caring about is the color that's on it. So like if you want to
a leader card,
not yet, but I hope he is someday. So and then the other one is a leader, and so the leaders like so far it's Princess Leia, Han Solo. Not Jar Jar, but Salacious Crumb. You can't be Salacious Crumb yet.
Yeah, I was
but that
like, really?
Yeah, I think there is a Salacious Crumb card coming out in the next round. That's what I'm hoping. Anyway, so so then you put those cards out there, and then you actually draw your leaders. So everybody has 3 leader cards because everybody had 3 packs, and you choose one of the 3 leaders in your hands, pass those around until you have 3 leaders, and then based on those leaders, you're drawing the rest of the cards from the pack, trying to build a deck. And it's super fun. And what I like about it is it's like everybody's on even terms. It's who can draft the best and then compete with it instead of, hey, who spent $7,000 on a deck and has 3 Darth Vaders and 3 Boba Fett's in there and then can rule the table, So, and that's like the constructed decks type, which I don't know. I do have a Luke with 3 Lukes and a bunch of Mace Windows and everything, and I could do some damage, I think. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'll just wait till the new set comes out and do the draft packs then.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot more fun than pay to win,
Yeah, exactly. I don't really, and then because like we come home and then the kids and I all play, like Ian and I played like 10 games a couple nights ago, and we were like dead even, like 5-5 at the end of it. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
And my deck is definitely like more valuable than his. But, it doesn't matter. You can still, there are other cards that aren't necessarily expensive that you could put in a good, so far it's a very balanced game. A cheap deck can beat an expensive deck still. But there's some overly crazy metas that I just don't follow either. So I don't follow like whatever the meta is to do it. But, I'm gonna keep touting this game because I'm super excited about the new set coming out in July. And
nice.
So I'm gonna stick with it, and I think my kids will, so at least I'll have something to do. So
How do you find the time to do all this stuff, man? It's like insane. And you went and played disc golf too.
Yeah, disc golf. I dropped my kids off over at, or my son. I dropped him off over at, the XP, and so it gives me an hour to go disc golfing. So I just have my bag in the car, drive down the street, and play for 45 minutes, and then come back. And I only got like 6 holes in, 7 holes. It was so crowded,
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. I hate that.
I don't.
We're playing this week.
You're gonna play this week?
Yeah, this weekend. Yeah.
Where are you gonna play?
Well, probably Campton because my father-in-law's coming and he loves that course. So
where's that at?
It's it's in. I don't know if it's technically Wasco or St. Charles. I think it's St. Charles there. Yeah, but it's so if you go west of Randall, maybe a mile. I couldn't tell you the exact location. I could drive you there, but I don't.
Did I talk about the Sage YMCA? We got a YMCA that's got a discourse by us. It's only a 9-hole.
Where's the discourse?
Huh?
Where is the discourse?
It's buried in that forest right there, and you can see some of the baskets around the parking lot. It's there. I
gotta Google Maps this, man, because it doesn't seem like there's enough like land there.
These holes, some of them are like 180 feet. Like you could legitimately play there enough and get an ace, like your first ace because you hit one, and
Yeah.
uh, so my wife and I went there, and it was still February, I want to say, when we played, but like they had not taken care of this course, and it was
Oh,
just like leaves and just dead branches and crap everywhere. We couldn't even find like the markers for the starting points for almost half of them.
man.
And
I would think you'd be throwing this out on the highway, man, because it's
no,
like,
it doesn't get that close. It didn't get that close to the highway. Yeah,
uh,
and like I said, most of them are short. Like when it gets out into the open area by the building, there were a few longer holes there, and but we we golfed, we disc golfed it, and I like I'm killing it. I'm getting like 2 on everything because you throw it right up to it, and then boom,
Yeah.
So it's like but it was a good short game course, and a lot of up and down, and
okay.
so we're doing that, and we get home. My wife's like, I think I found a tick on me. I'm like, what?
Oh,
I'm like,
yep.
yeah, I dropped it. I don't know where it went. I'm like, great. So now we got to look around the house for the stupid tick. Are you kidding me? And she's like, maybe it wasn't. I'm like, I don't know. It probably was. And then I'm like looking at her, and I see a tick on her. And I'm like, there's another tick on you. So I like just grab it and I like stuck it in a plastic bag.
Mhm.
And then we found a third tick. And I'm
Oh
like,
boy.
all right. So I'm like, she's like, I gotta take a shower. I'm like, just we're gonna burn your clothes. Just go. She's like, she goes upstairs. She's like, I had another one on me. So she had at least 4 on her. I couldn't find any on me, or my clothes or anything. We just like washed everything, cleaned everything, and they were deer ticks, and it was in February.
They're all over the place. They're
It's
really bad this year.
terrible
Yeah.
because it didn't get cold enough to do that deep freeze that kills everything off.
Yeah.
So it was like we had those like 3 really cold days, but that wasn't long enough. And so
You know,
everything survived, and they were out like a month earlier than usual this year, and it was just like it was like 30 degrees when we were out there too, like 35 maybe. Still got ticks all over us, or all
we
she got them.
we didn't even like. Me and my daughter were just walking the dogs, and we had like 3 or 4 of them on us. It wasn't like we were walking through tall grass or anything.
What
Yeah.
kind did you have by you? Were they deer? Were they like the dog ticks or
Well, I'm not
the
an
dog
anti
ticks are the big ones that you
big
can.
fatty one. Okay,
Yeah.
we had one of those, but then I had on me one of those real tiny ones.
Okay, and that could be a nymph or it could be a deer tick.
Oh, it was a tick, bro.
No, a nymph of a tick, like a deer tick
Oh,
nymph.
yeah,
They
that's
still look
true.
like ticks. They still look like, yeah. Just
Well, it sucked. So, and then like Renee walked. She was just on the street. She had one on her. So I don't,
yeah, ticks
I
are
wish I had
terrible.
chickens because they eat them.
Or you get a possum. That's what I was telling your wife, Dan. She
We
said
have one in our backyard, so
that's
that
awesome.
was the joke. Didn't
So
you? So, like she posted like 3 days before I posted the tick post about freaking out about a possum on the side of a house. Our neighbor said it's living underneath my 3-season room.
okay, so that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
really good or really bad. It means you have so many ticks, 'Cause- or it means that maybe he's eating them all. Maybe
I don't know.
Although if they got in your house, maybe they're scaring them into your house.
They didn't get. I don't think they were in the house. I think we brought them in the house. The ticks. So like I was sitting right in this chair. I was actually, I don't know, we'll talk about this a little bit later maybe. I was actually, I for some reason I decided, hey, I'm going to fire up World of Warcraft because I haven't played in years, right?
Whoa.
So yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
And what led me down that path. So, like
Look
all
at
of a
him
sudden,
itching. He's like, and then like I found
I know.
that.
I know.
and then like I feel something like, it kind of felt like, when you have sweat go down your back, right? Like the small of my back. I'm like, man, why is the sweat going up my back? So I find a tick, right? And then like we had cut. So I'm pretty sure I got it at my son's track meet, right? And then I come out of the room. I'm like, I had a tick on me, and I go to Jana, and then Tristan's like, ew. He's like, man, that's gross. And then he looks down on his leg, and he's got a tick crawling up his leg, right? Yeah. So,
but nobody was bit.
No.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
then,
Yeah, Mindy. My wife didn't get bit. I didn't get bit either for ours.
I got another one today. And then Kaylee's conference track meet.
All right.
And I feel something on my shoulder underneath my shirt. and I'm going like, what the hell? I pull it out, and then I go, oh, it's a tick, and I threw it at you.
I think my wife would leave me at that moment. I would never talk to her again. Like, so I've
My
gone disc
daughter
golfing.
actually-
Go ahead.
Yeah, my daughter, my oldest, actually, she's been bit a couple of times where like, she's like, "What's this on my neck?" And it's like a big fat tick sitting there, and she's been treated twice for Lyme disease.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's no fun. Yeah, no, those I've gone disc golfing a few times when I'm with my wife. If she throws one like into the crap, she's like, I'm not getting that. She's like, she's got PTSD from that incident. Like, she's like, I'm not. I don't know if I can get her to go disc golfing again. I'm like, oh, come on, it's not that bad.
We were playing one time, and it was summer, and I threw it into this. I threw it wild off, off the fairway, and I go out there, and I didn't realize I was walking through stingers because I'd never even seen, or I didn't know what a stinging nettle was, and I'm just like walking up to get my disc, and I'm like, why are my legs on fire? Like literally, it was horrible.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Oh, a stinging nettle? It looks like a strawberry leaf.
Yeah.
It like if you've ever seen like a strawberry plant, stinging nettle. It kind of looks like it is almost like furry looking,
Okay.
and just like the slightest touch on your skin, it feels like it's burning. Just it burns and it burns, and yeah, you'll like if you're like pulling weeds in a garden, sometimes you'll find them. And you find them around here all over, and they suck.
Yeah, especially if you're wearing shorts, they blow.
Oh, I've had it on my hands, like, because I'm like Mr. Like, I'll pull a thistle out with my hands, and then then it's stinging nettles, and I'm like, no, that I will draw the line there. But I know a lot of people will take those stinging nettles, dry them out, and make tea out of them.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I will not. I will not. It's supposed to be very medicinal, and I say no. I just say destroy stinging nettles. Nuke them from space, whatever you need to do. Ticks and stinging nettles can all get bent.
I'm always thinking, should I get a book like of all the plants? Because I don't know jack about plants. Like, what if I'm in the woods someday and like I don't know, I get a headache and I want to figure out, hey, which one of these plants is gonna fix my headache? I don't know.
Weren't you a Boy Scout?
I was a Cub Scout, but yeah, no.
I would have pegged you as a Boy Scout, man. I don't know why, but like out of everybody, all of like our group of friends, I would peg you, and instead of Hammer.
To be honest, I regret it because I don't know how to freaking tie a knot to save my butt. I swear.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they're like. Have you ever seen somebody who knows how to tie a knot? They're like they do
my
this.
Dad.
It's like
My dad.
But guess what? My dad was an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
Both Russ's boys are Eagle Scouts.
Yeah. No, it's just.
I was the first male Mendro not to be an Eagle Scout.
Yeah, you're right.
Broke the line. All of my cousins, my uncles, and my grandpa, all Eagle Scouts.
I don't think my grandfather was an Eagle Scout, but I think my grandfather was like involved with everything with my dad becoming an Eagle Scout.
The Boy Scouts was not big out where I grew up in California.
So.
It's not really that. I don't remember it being big when I was a kid either.
It's still big.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, but I did the Indian guides, or when we went PC with it, it was the adventure guides. But then they went back to Indian guides because actually, Native American tribes are like, no, actually, you guys actually did it really well with how you handled our traditions and stuff, and we went back to Indian guides. And it was through the YMCA, the same one that had all the ticks. So this is amazing how this came full circle.
Hey, by the way, I highly recommend if you guys get a chance, come down and play Camden Hills. It's 9 holes. It's super short. All woods.
Okay.
It's all like
all ticks all the time.
It's all ticks all the time for sure.
Nice.
But like it's like hilly. So like some of them are straight up and straight down. Like it's awesome.
Sounds like Velcro.
Felpro's got a few. You would like Felpro a lot. Felpro is the one in Cary that I was
like
talking about.
2 different 9 holes in one Felpro. Because
Yeah.
the front nine is nothing like the back. Or front nine and the back nine are totally different.
They're really woody though. I love the deep woods.
Yeah. There's some really good woods with like it's like a tree maze on a few of the holes.
That's
Have
the best.
you been to Lippold
I
over
have
by
no
Crystal
idea.
Lake? Crystal Lake.
Played it once a long time ago.
Yeah. Both are
Is
really
it
good. Lippold's a little longer than Felpro. Felpro's a little bit more up and down. They both have a lot of good wooded holes and a lot of good open holes. They're both great courses. Like we got two really good courses by us.
We quit Lippold like 4 holes in because the mosquitoes were so bad. They're awful.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
you got
just
to go
so
at the
bad.
right time. You have to go at the right time. It's
It's
terrible.
hot, and you got yeah. Just wear off, dude. Get that like 40% deep, man. That's what I use.
Oh, I have some 60%, dude.
Really, you can get that?
Yep.
Shit.
Up north, go up to northern Wisconsin, you can get it.
Yeah, well, that's because like Wisconsin is the haven for all ticks. If you ever look at any map that says like where a tick's bad, it's like pretty bad where we're at, and you're like, yeah, it's bad, and then like it's kind of bad like in parts of Minnesota, but then you get over in Wisconsin, it was just like this is hell,
Yeah.
absolute.
And-
like it is like the hardest level of Diablo.
Yeah.
And then Maine and
my dad's dock.
Northern.
My dad's dock down at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
Right? So off the left side, he's got that old like rowboat, John boat that So I was helping him move it last year, and I was moving it. I'm standing in the water, like 3-4 inches of water, and it's like really stagnant over there. I come out and I had like 4 fucking leeches on me. Oh, I dropped the net bomb.
But they're leeches, so it's okay. Because leeches also terrible. Great for medieval great for medieval medicine, though.
Did you immediately grab those 4 leeches and go fishing with them?
Oh, my dad wanted to, but I did pull the Stand By Me and I checked.
Okay, good. Okay, I was gonna make that comment.
Hey. Yeah. Oh man.
Okay, all right. So I'll get the the elephant in the room. World of Warcraft, Dan. Let's go.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm really kind of underwhelmed with gaming, if that makes sense.
I'm right there with you.
Just it's like what to play. Like Helldivers 2 is pretty cool, but I can only do so much of that. And I've been playing a lot of out of the park baseball. Totally burnt out on that. Diablo 4 really underwhelming. And just looking for something, kind of something mindless to play that I could just, drop in for 20 minutes and do. And so I was, I had BattleNet up and I'm looking at it and it was like, oh, hey, new expansion's coming at the end of the year, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, you can play to level 20 for free. So I installed it and I played it, created a new character, and just kind of farted around for a little bit. So, but I had been, and the reason why I went with WoW was I was playing Fallout 76. In Fallout 76, I have not played very far into it ever. But the beginning of that game is not good. It is not a good new player experience at all. Okay. And what I mean by that is like when you get dropped into like an MMO, which Fallout 76 is kind of like an MMO. It's not an MMO. It is more like a Diablo, right?
Yeah.
Where you're dropping into like a server instance
where there's like 24 other people at most. Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of just spits you out of the vault and it gives you a main quest, but it is way too open, if that makes sense, right? You can just say screw it and just go off and do whatever you want, which I would not advise, right? Because you get your butt kicked right away, but it does not do a good job of getting you into the game and setting you up for success. That's how I felt.
What level did you get to? Because I got to level 10.
I'm like level 8 or something like that.
Okay. All right.
And it's not bad, but it's honestly kind of boring.
Yeah.
It's not very engaging.
Do you think that if the three of us were playing it, it would be interesting? Like, I kind of wondered, like, as if like I'm playing with people I know, would I enjoy it more, or would I just still would rather play something else with everybody?
Here's what I would say, right? Is what let me go back to World of Warcraft. Same game. I mean, yeah, it's evolved a little bit, but it's still the same gaming experience from 1 to 20 that it used to be. Now, you don't need to play 1 through 20 when you play World of Warcraft. You can go to 70 right away. But there's so much content, but it is so well designed to from level 1 to 70 that it's fun and it's interesting, and there's more lore than you could ever ask for, but there's a point to every character and every faction that you play. In Fallout 76, where it misses the boat for me is it spits you out of the vault, and then you get to decide whatever it is you want to do. I think it really should, and maybe I have to play more, but if I wanted to compare it to like a World of Warcraft, which is kind of like the gold standard still today, in my opinion. I know some people say Final Fantasy or Elder Scrolls Online, something like that, are really good. I'm sure they are. But I could never get into either of those. World of Warcraft, every character class you play, every faction you play, there's a backstory, and it takes you from 1 to 70 the whole way. And you can change how you play it throughout it, but if you want to be like an undead rogue or whatever, there's a whole quest line for you that takes you through the whole base game, right? Fallout 76, like if there's a Fallout 77, down the road, like there's like a 2.0, it needs to improve the new player experience for it to be successful, in my opinion. Like they should drop you, hey, you're an Enclave recruit or whatever, or, you're a Brotherhood of Steel acolyte, or put you in the shoes of those factions from the beginning to make it a little more interesting, and then let you change your mind later on, right?
20 years old. In
World of
November.
Warcraft,
It will be 20 years old in November.
it's still, I don't know if it's the nostalgia for me, but it's still fun. And I picked up, and it's kind of cool. I'm guessing neither of you played it. You didn't really play it ever, Justin, did you?
No, I played it I probably played it more than you, Chuck. I
Well,
played
we played it for like a free month.
and then I jumped on at another point, and I think like if I went back to my characters, I think maybe I got to level 20.
Yeah, so they squished all the levels, by the way. So it was at like 120 or something like that. They squished that down to 70 or 50, and then they've had 2 expansions come out since the squish.
Okay.
So it'll be like my level 70s are level 54 now, because I stopped playing when they extended it. But it's still fun. The graphics are dated, the engine's dated, but it works, man. It's just smooth. It's fun. The backstory's great. The cool thing now is they've had so many expansions, and every expansion except for one, you can start the new expansion from level 1 within the story of that, right? So when they debuted that expansion, they put in, there's this character that recurs throughout the game called Chromie. He's like a dragon, but he presents himself as a little gnome. Right?
I've Heroes of the Storm. I am well aware of who Chromie is.
Yeah, so he's the time guy, right? He's the guy who sends you back in time, whatever.
Yep.
So now you can go to him right after you start the game, so like maybe a half hour in, and you can choose which campaign you want your character to be in. So if you want to play the original campaign, the Alliance versus the Horde, you can play that 1 through 70, and you can switch it at any time. It'll push you into the new camp. So you want to play Wrath of the Lich King, you can switch over to that at level 30. It'll put you right at level 30 in the middle of the quest line, level 30 for Ratchet and Wrath on the Lich.
Okay, so for you that sounds great,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, I would just rather just want to start it from the beginning, having no context for any of that stuff.
No, but I'm saying you can do that.
Oh, I know,
Right.
and I think that would be like for me, somebody who hasn't experienced any of that. That seems very overwhelming, and like, what the hell am I doing? Because I'm getting dropped in the
No,
middle. Like, I would want to start it from the beginning.
no, I'm just saying like if you're a pro,
Exactly.
you,
Yeah.
you
I like that they
can,
do it. They
yeah,
did it
you
for
can
people.
go.
Yeah.
You can choose to go to the beginning of any of those campaigns.
So you, as a veteran of the game, could go, "This is my favorite part of the game. I'm just going to start a game there."
Yeah.
And just like relive your favorite part of it. That's awesome. That's amazing replayability right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when
Yeah.
you said like you're very underwhelmed with games, and it's just like I think that's exactly like what I feel. Like absolutely. Like I started a new character in Fallout 4. Don't care. I'm out. I'm doing some stuff. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got some power armor already, and I already got Preston asking me to take care of, you got to go and help this outpost or, and all that already. Preston Garvey, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been like doing that, and I was like, I don't care
The
anymore.
Minutemen, right?
Huh?
Minute.
The
The
Minutemen,
Minutemen.
right?
Yeah, it's the Minutemen
Yeah.
stuff. So I started the Minutemen quest line. You know, I don't know. I like I couldn't. I did fire back up. Uh, Fallout 76, and I got through the
Mm.
airport. I don't know if you got through the airport. No.
No, dude. Like I literally,
Yeah.
like just like the movie or the TV show, I got sidetracked with.
Yeah, okay.
The
No, I
quest,
like
so.
hard-lined a lot of the main quests. And the weird part about Fallout 76 for me is it plays exactly like a Fallout game.
It does.
So it's got all that, and then I'm just like, And then all of a sudden, some dude wearing like a goofy hat will run up to me and just all of a sudden drop a bunch of lunch boxes, and then be like, "Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here," and like doing all these emotes. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But then I'll take all the lunch boxes and then I'll sign out. So it's kind of like,
there's definitely some cool stuff in Fallout 76. I'm sure if I gave it more time, it would probably grow on me. But it's like there's so many games that are geared towards maybe not open world, but just it's progression based, like Destiny 2, those kinds of games. I'm just not feeling it right now, right? I like Diablo 3, I think was the last really great game that I played, that the campaign was cool. It didn't take too long to get there, and I wanted to replay it over and over and over again. Now everything's really, really long and really, really involved, and there's no point to the games. It's like what's the freaking point of the game? Of like settlements in Fallout 4 is what kind of screws that game up a little bit, right?
I agree. That's my least favorite part about, and I just didn't care.
It was like an ode to Minecraft thrown in there, right?
Yeah.
It's like my kid loves Minecraft, but he's really only ever finished 3 games in his life. He has only finished 3 video games in his whole life.
That's just
Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and then he finished Spider-Man again.
They're like TikTok. I don't care. We're completed.
So my older son and my younger son have played through Hollow Knight multiple times. That's like both of their ultimate favorite game ever. It's a fantastic 2D platformer. Unreal. It's definitely one of the greats. I haven't played it through it. I've played some of it, and it's tight. It's a great game. My youngest has played through multiple Zelda games. He's beaten multiple Metroid games. He'll play some pretty challenging stuff and beat it. Like he'll stick it out and get through them. My older son, he is more like, I'm surprised that he was so into Hollow Knight and beating that and playing that through multiple times also, because he really didn't beat a lot of games. He would have a lot of experiences. He would do a lot of online stuff with friends and a lot of screwball stuff with friends, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think if that's a great way for young kids to hang out. So I see that as like really what it is. I'm looking through the game list right now, and I want to get into the marbles in a minute, Dan. But I'm just like, look.
talking about with those, Mark?
We'll get there in a second. Yeah, I'm just trying to think like the last great game. See, I really enjoyed the hell out of Diablo 4. I really, really liked it, and I liked it the same way I liked Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm done with Diablo 4 until they come out with an expansion.
I
And then
think
I'll come back.
So here's the thing. For me, Diablo 3 was so repetitive. Like, you get a decent character going, and then it was just the same it felt like the same 4 levels over and over and over and over. It was boring. It got boring to me, like super fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I never even I was like, Diablo 4, I'm not even that interested. Like, if I heard like really good things about it, maybe, but I didn't hear great things.
Diablo 4, I think you would like better than Diablo 3 for the single play through experience. The replayability isn't there yet. The thing that Diablo 3 still has over Diablo 4, and I think Dan's going to agree with me on this, is it's the fun factor. Because you can build up your character so fast, and I think the abilities of the characters were more fun to play and chain together.
Mm-hmm.
Like I miss the monk. Like that's what I miss. If I had a monk class that's with the same abilities in Diablo 4, I'd be so happy. Like they announced that, I'll line up, I'll pre-order and be there day one.
If you saw my expression there, it wasn't because of anything you said.
I was gonna wonder if you found another tick.
No, it's like the storm's blowing through right now, and there's just
I just heard it. I just heard it at my house a little bit ago, also. So
the whole house just shook. So that must have been pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Diablo 4. I enjoyed the game. The replayability is terrible because it's a slog. It's slow. They killed power leveling characters in it, which is what made Diablo 3 so much fun. Like they're on season 34 of Diablo 3 right now. And every time a new season comes out, they've got guys that go out there and just power level their character up like they do. They can speed level their own character, and then they can power level you 0 to 70 in like a minute, and then get you to like level 400 Paragon in like 5 minutes. Okay.
Oh.
And it's fun. And then boom, you can go off and power level yourself through the next 500 Paragon levels, like in a couple weeks. And you get all the loot. You could go through a whole dungeon in about 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and that's what makes that part of the replayability, the end game, so much fun in Diablo 3. Diablo 4, you just can't do it. It's just not fun.
But it will get there. It will get there.
We'll see. I don't know if you saw the next season's coming.
I did.
They're calling it the loot, whatever season, because they're redoing how they're, handing out loot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't feel like the game engine is the same because it's a totally new game engine. And I think it's the whole game engine is just slow. They have to tweak the engine to give it the same kind of feel as Diablo 3. That's just the way I feel.
So, do you guys find, for me, I prefer a single player. I don't know why, but when you get into a multiplayer game, I feel like, well, it's hard because you got to schedule it, At least I do. It's not like I can just jump on and, I got to go on Wednesday night, I have free time from 8 to 4, whatever, 8 to 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
But the other thing is but it's not like you can just pick it up whenever. The other thing, though, is when you're by yourself, you can just do it at your pace. You know what I mean? There's just this, I don't know. I also struggle as a team player because I always feel like, if I'm sucking, and trust me, that happens a lot, I just feel bad for the rest of the team, But
so back in the day when I played World of Warcraft, I played hardcore World of Warcraft when it came out. Raiding dungeons, 40 per player raids, doing all that kind of stuff, right? Obviously before kids.
I was gonna say you didn't have kids.
Yeah, before kids, and before it was after I met Jana, but it's I was always a gamer. Before that, I played EverQuest, and before that, I played used to play the old AOL Dungeons and Dragons game, right? Which, if you never heard of that, there was on AOL they actually had a gold box MMO. I think it was called Neverwinter Nights. Is what it was called. 256 people per on the server at one time, and I think you could have like 10 people in your area at one time. And if you wanted to move to the next one, you had to wait for somebody to leave it so you could go in it. But it played like the old gold box D&D games, like from SSI, like Pools of Radiance and all those ones. But so I always loved RPGs, and I loved MMOs. At some point, I became more like you, Chuck, where I just wanted to play it at my own pace. And so I stopped doing the raiding in World of Warcraft, and I did some dungeons, right? I would just pick ups, but I only played stuff that I could solo. And that's what's great about Diablo usually, is because Diablo 3, you could solo that if you want, or you could group up if you want, and there's some things that are more fun. Sometimes you need help to get to the next, the higher level Paragon, or the next Greater Rift, level to finish. You can't do it on your own, right? But yeah, I'm kind of like you. I like to play those MMOs as on my own most of the time, because now I have 3 kids, right? And Jana comes in, hey, I need you to do this. I don't want to leave somebody hanging, right? So I like to play it on my own. Now, I think World of Warcraft has a new mechanic where you can get followers to help you go through a 6-player dungeon. I believe the next expansion, which comes out like around Christmas, has a solo mode for a lot of the dungeons and raids. So it's like something new, and I think there's unless I'm reading this wrong, but this is what I was reading yesterday, that I think they're doing some kind of new solo mechanic that's coming in it, and there's a big uproar about it being an MMO and them doing that. So, anyways.
Yeah, well, in the coming fall, I will be a empty nester, so maybe I'll have more time.
Yeah. World of Warcraft came out like a week after my son was born.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so that's why I never played it. I like, had I not had kids, I probably would have jumped all over it. But I had kids, and I had my son, and it just wasn't going to happen. The best I could do was Halo 2 on Xbox Live, because Xbox Live hit just around that same time also. So I could.
We played that a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, you played in short bursts. You play 15, 20 minutes here, 15, 20 minutes there.
Yeah, did like team doubles.
Yeah, we had a good time with that.
I was fun doing that stuff.
Wow.
When our kids were babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. I was not great. Some days I was on fire, but then other days.
Yeah, it was like you had your good days, you had your bad days. It happened.
But, I don't know, after Halo 4, and I've never even played the 5th one.
Infinite?
Yeah, I
think that's the 6th one.
Oh shit! I don't even know.
No, I played a lot of Infinite. I've played quite a bit of Infinite, but I've just played most of the multiplayer. I haven't played the single player campaign that much. Played it for like an hour.
What's your favorite though?
Halo?
Yeah.
It's either 3 or Reach.
I would say
which one is the one where you're playing as just the regular Spartans, and
that's ODST.
Yeah.
I loved that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love ODST.
Yeah, ODST is don't sleep on that. That was a great game.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun, but I think Reach is probably the best.
Yeah, I think Reach is the most polished. It does all the things that they always wanted to do in Halo, and it's kind of like Bungie's goodbye to the franchise. So I think it's great there. But I mean, Halo 3, when that came out, was so great. It was... Yeah, because that was the first one on the 360,
Mm-hmm.
and so you had all that, and Yeah, that was my favorite. But again, I'm going to go down and say forever that the Xbox 360 is the greatest console of all time.
Oh, that's interesting.
I will always say that. We could talk about that kind of stuff at a different episode, though, because I
All
think
right.
I can unlock a beast on that we
Well-
could go off and talk for about 4 hours, probably. Yeah.
We're right about an hour here, so I did want to bring one thing up. When you talk about games that have been around for a long time, on May 17th, we will be celebrating Minecraft's 15 years, and rumor has it that they will potentially drop the latest update maybe on that day. We don't know, but you know,
15
want-
years. Oof.
I keep track of like all that stuff. I know what where they are in the update process and everything. And
Yeah.
talk about a game that you can pick up at any time and do anything. Like you could literally just sit there and mine if you wanted. Just listen to podcasts and just like dig.
Yeah.
Or build stuff.
So my boys played that a lot. They like my oldest has kind of grown out of it now for at least for now. I'm sure he will go back to it at some point. Right now, he's been playing No Man's Sky like crazy. No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that game looks awesome. It does.
Have you played it?
No.
Oh, dude.
You would really like it. I don't really like it because it's Minecraft also. I don't like Minecraft games. I don't like that's why I don't even like that. I hate building stuff in Fallout. I don't
You don't
build
have
stuff.
to build anything at all.
Right.
Yeah, you do. To get through like the first 5 hours of that game, you have to like build stuff and find stuff for your ship. And if you don't have to build stuff, you still have to like always constantly look for components to craft stuff, to build, to make a battery, or to do this. You have to build in that.
You can actually once you get past the tutorial though, you can actually just blast off and never do that main quest again ever.
Yeah, but I want to do the main quest.
And meaning like the building quest, you can still go to the center of the universe and move to the next solar system, which I don't know if you know that, but that's the whole point of the game,
I understand.
right?
Yeah, but
Right.
yeah. No, it's great. I'm not going to knock the game and say it's a bad game because it's not. It's definitely not a bad game. It's just one of those ones that it's just like, oof, it's a lot.
I only built a base in No Man's Sky just because I needed more. At the time, the freighters didn't have enough storage, so I needed more storage, so I built a whole bunch of bases. And that's the only. And the bases were literally a portal and a bunch of boxes, so I could portal back and forth from them. But now they've updated the freighters now with a ton of storage, so you don't ever have to really build a base at all, other than just to get through a couple of the main quests in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like I'm still playing Marvel Snap, but I don't know if that counts. That's just like a part of me. And my son plays a ton of Helldivers, but he's playing like Rainbow Six now too, and things like that.
Hey, I don't want to gloss over because Chuck wanted to talk about Minecraft. So I did. Was there like? Do you still play that a lot?
Probably like other than my phone games, it's probably like the only thing I really play. But do you really play it? It's more like you go into your world and you just tinker.
Live it.
Yeah.
So do you play just you on your server, or do you
right now, yeah. I mean, the way the server's set up, and the way that it's always been is it'll be like super populated, like right after an update comes out, and then people just kind of disappear after a while. But I don't know. I just like to get on there and build stuff and listen to podcasts and adventure around, whatever. It's fun.
So do you play like the creative or the survival mode?
Always survival.
Okay. So you play the game. So have you beaten the game?
Have I beaten the game? Well, I mean, you beat the dragon, but I mean,
yeah. But isn't that like the end of the game? Like you beat that dragon and
but you can respawn the dragon and do it again. The game's just the way. Like Mojang's whole idea is that you're the one that creates it. So that's kind of like I watch a lot of these SMPs, the other frogs. I watch a lot of these I've never even bred them. I've never even messed with the frogs. But I watch a lot of these videos, primarily the Hermitcraft stuff, And it's just amazing the world that they build. And like, I mean, granted, I mean, that's their job, right? Like that's what they do for a living, but some of the shit they do is incredible. Like, I don't know if you guys don't even know who BWO is, but he's a Minecrafter on there, and he just built a forest. Just a bunch of trees, but the block choices he made, and like, just it was amazing. And then when like people came over late, like other players on the SMP came over and they looked and they're just like, what? How does he even come up with this? Like, how does he do it? Like, I don't know. I guess it's like the inner artist in me. Like, I just love building stuff, and so.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's like there's no shame in it. Like, absolutely. I think that's like the coolest thing about like how games have changed over the last, let's say, 20, 30 years, where the experiences and what we get out of them is so different. Like, or there's so many different ways to get an experience out of it. You still have the traditional, hey, I played a Mario game and I jumped on the turtle, You still have that experience. That hasn't changed. You still have the pinball. You still have things as basic as Pong that have evolved in other sports games, that have that same competitive two-player balance. But then you've also got something where you're building in Minecraft or it's or the MMO experience of WoW or the pocket games, anything. It's kind of crazy how it's evolved, and it's just like I could have never predicted it like 30 years ago when I was playing on an NES of where we'd be now.
No.
And in fact, we'll talk about one more thing because it is getting a little long in the tooth here. Dan, explain Marbles on Stream to Chuck.
What's Marble? What's this called?
All right. So if you ever go on Twitch, like have you ever gone on Twitch? Not even to watch a stream or anything.
Watch the stream here and there.
I've been living on Twitch lately.
So Twitch is actually really kind of fun. If you, to me, it's like it could be dangerous. Like I can't imagine like an 18-year-old kid venturing into Twitch's first time, right? Trying to navigate the quasi porn and all these other things in there. It's like a minefield. But there's all kinds of like you can watch it like Minecrafters. You can watch people playing any game or watching just about any TV show.
Yeah, a lot of those guys. But
Hey, did you send me Alf last week?
Dude, there's a 24/7 Alf channel on Twitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could just watch the whole series of Alf in like 2
weeks.
You
could also watch that on like Freevee, though.
Probably.
They're probably streaming it from Freevee through, yeah.
Yeah. So like Twitch is really interactive, which is really cool. And anybody watching, if you find your way to our Discord, I've set it up now that anytime that I stream, you'll get a notification and a link to my stream. So I'll set you guys up with it too if you want to set it up on Twitch. So that if you start streaming, that people, our followers can find you there.
I did stream some Marvel Snap for like about 2 games.
There you go.
Just to play around with it. Yeah.
It's crazy. My kids will watch streams.
Yeah. So when you're watching streams, and a lot of them are interactive. There's all kinds of games and stuff you can play within them, within like the chat, right, of anybody's stream. You're inevitably going to see somebody yell, "Let's play marbles," right? So somebody it's like, if you can picture Mario Kart where you can't control your guy at all, right? You just pick a random racer and then make it a marble. And then if you remember the old marble game, like the plastic thing where you go through the tubes and you can go and download the whole game if you want, make your own tracks, and then other people can throw their marbles in your game.
So you just drop all the marbles down and it goes through the course and whoever wins gets points.
Yeah. And it's like really customizable. Like, I don't know if you saw, Justin, there's a guy who literally his marble thing is just a giant 24/7 pachinko machine.
Yeah. That's how I just got my latest drop. He might still be on stream actually right now. I don't want to pull it up because the audio will screw up my feed.
If you want to play, you literally don't ever have to download the game. And the game is free, right? You don't have to pay for it, but you don't have to download it. You can just join somebody's Twitch stream and type play, and then you play.
Exclamation point play.
Yeah, there you go.
And then
That's
your marble from whatever your Twitch ID was will appear on their screen in their game.
Yeah.
And then it drops the marble, and the person running the stream will be like, "Hey, how you doing?" and talking to you, and you can like be like, "Why are you smoking so much pot?"
Yeah, and some people, like some streamers, will literally give away money, gift cards, games, stuff, and swag from their channel, right, to the winners of the races. And they'll do like Grand Prix where they'll have 8 races, and the winner of that will get something, or that kind of stuff. So it's cool. And you can change your marble, and you can, if you want to buy skins for your marbles, you can buy coins and get skins and stuff like that.
I got a pretty cool skin on my marble now. I'm pretty happy with it.
People go freaking easy for it. And the hilarious thing is I've been telling Justin about it for a couple of weeks. And so last week or 2 weeks ago when you were in Africa, I got him to finally get on there and do it. Because I got it set up, and he hopped in, and then Justin went nuts for the marbles for a couple of days. And
I've still been having it on streams. I'll be working, and I'll just have it off to the side. I'll be like, I play.
It's so funny.
And just have it's on mute, and it's just in the background, because the more you're on them, the more drops you'll get.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that's how you can change your marble and everything. I'm not going to put a penny into this game, but I will watch it, and I've actually had people interested in our podcast through this. I've talked to people about possibly joining the podcast and explaining this how the Marvel stuff works with the streaming and all this other stuff. So I don't know, maybe something will come out of it. But it's dumb. It's so dumb, but it's it hits that weird little like lizard brain back of your head thing, a little itch you didn't know you needed to get a scratch on, and it's kind of fun, but it's also more of like a social experiment of just like diving into Twitch. And it's not like the creepy part of Twitch. It's a kind of like a fun loving part of Twitch. Every part of it I've seen has been like, huh?
If you misclick on the wrong channel, it sure can be creepy part of Twitch.
Yeah, but I mean that could be anything, you know. I mean, I started out with Twitch with like StarCraft 2, and then into Dota, where I would watch like the international for Dota, like the big $1 million tournaments on there, or like all like the tournaments in StarCraft, where I would get to know like the announcers and the players, and I was pretty heavily invested in watching a lot of those. I don't know, were we playing Dota when we were doing the podcast, or was that after the podcast?
Oh, that was after.
Yeah, so I was pretty big into like the Dota scene for a while, and I mean, talk about, you know, a vile scum and villainy. We must be cautious, you know, when you get into like the MOBAs. I mean, another completely different game experience. We got the Marvel experience, the MOBA experience, the MMA or MMO, and then MMA experience. I guess would be a totally different one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah.
Well, this kind of reminds me of a couple weeks ago, and I meant to talk about this, but one of the things that's really interesting is how there are these organizations now that exist because of games, and one of them is an organization that they bring consoles into hospitals, like children's hospitals, so that they have consoles and stuff. And they just did this thing like 2 weeks ago where they flew like all these people in from around the world to somewhere in Michigan, and they did like a telethon type thing. It wasn't really, it wasn't, they didn't have telephones, but it was all done online stuff. And like the characters from the SMP I watched, the Hermitcraft, they made $800,000 in just the weekend for that charity, and it was really cool.
Yeah, like I think like that's like Child's Play also. Was it Child's Play?
It was Child's Play, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Child's Play is like one of the big ones where they'll do like a lot of the major sites. Like I know Giant Bomb or
Mhm.
and a lot of those will do like 24/7 streaming during that time just to raise money, and they'll try to do the full 24 hours without falling asleep, just streaming different games and everything. And we actually talked about doing that before we went off the air about a while ago.
Mhm.
But that might be something. Wait till we have an empty nest also before I start dealing with before I start
Mhm.
going psychotic. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
no, I think Twitch is really cool.
love
I think
Twitch.
the
Yeah.
ability to interact with your audience and honestly, I think as I get more comfortable with the streaming and setting up and stuff, if we got to do a live broadcast on Twitch, I think that'll be really really good for us as a podcast, right? Bringing in more people because I hopped on 20 minutes before here. I hopped on and I was gonna stream 20 minutes of Fallout 76, and I got 3 random people just show up because I just typed Fallout 76 as the category for my stream.
Yep.
3 random people just popped in my stream.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and I think also like there's some cool technical things we can iron out with that, and we could just improve the experience for who's ever viewing our stuff or
yep.
listening to our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Like one of the coolest experiences I had with Twitch was last year. My son went to Big House, and I think I've mentioned him going to Michigan to do the Super Smash Brothers tournament. It's the biggest one of the year. It's at the University of Michigan or right nearby it. His friend goes to school there, so he took a train to Michigan and spent the weekend with him going to this tournament, in the tournament, competing in it. And I was watching the streams on Twitch. I didn't see him play because, he didn't get to that level where they would, but I could find like that he did play and see his ranking and everything. But then later on, when the bigger events were happening, I could see my son sitting in the stands watching the games go on whenever they'd like go to the crowd. That's kind of cool. I'm like, I see him. I saw you right there, man. I took little freeze frames of him and everything, and yeah,
That's so cool, man.
yeah. And I pulled it up on my Xbox too, so I could watch it on the TV upstairs.
Awesome.
Well,
Which is how I used to watch all the Dota stuff too, when I just have that on. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so I've had a Twitch account for a long time. This is the most involved I've probably gotten with it though now. Mostly because of you, Dan, and just kind of like because we're doing this whole podcast thing, I just want to like learn as much about like these mediums as possible.
mm-hmm. So I'll give you a guess. You get one guess without going on Twitch and looking. The top 2 streams right now, the most viewers.
Oh, 75,000, maybe more.
No, not the number, but what is the content that they're streaming? It's not dirty.
It's not dirty.
Yep, it's nothing dirty. Not
Okay,
like
okay. So what is the number one?
Not
It very possibly could be Minecraft. It could very well be.
Minecraft.
No, is it World of Warcraft?
Nope.
It's not. It's not marbles. It's not marbles.
No, it's not. Number 2, the second biggest stream going on right now, 52,000 viewers, is a guy playing Connect Sports.
You see it right now.
Okay, I would not have guessed that. This is something. I would not have guessed that.
He's playing Connect Sports. That's awesome.
I don't know. Is Helldivers a big one on there right now? I imagine it is.
Which one?
Helldivers.
No, the other one. I don't know what he's playing. It says games and demos. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I was thinking about like grabbing a random game and just like going start to finish and just like until I beat the game. Stream myself playing a game, and then just like save those files and like I was gonna pick like Bionic Commando and just like play it through.
All right, this guy is Case O. He has 62,000 people watching him, and he's playing some old school game.
Battletoads?
No, it's like a 3D like Quake 2 polygon game.
Okay.
This is like Alone in the Dark or something.
Ooh, Alone in the Dark was a classic. I played that. Anyway, okay. Uh,
Oh my
I think we're
god.
getting a little late here, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Where can we find everybody? We want to like talk about any of that stuff. Hit the likes, hit the subscribes, hit the Patreon, which hopefully at some point, Chuck, I want you to get me the original files that you have, because I would
Okay.
like to start to hide those away on the Patreon and get them uploaded to a server somewhere so other people can enjoy like what we were like 20 years ago, 15 years
Oh,
ago, or
wow, we
whatever it
can do
was.
now.
Huh? It's a lot
It's
like
a lot.
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But that's one thing. So yeah, we're on Patreon, Spotify, everywhere else you can pretty much get a podcast. You'll find us. If you want to watch the movie version of us, we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah. It's yeah.
So all right, everybody. I'm signing out. So I'm gonna say goodbye.
We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.
What game is he playing?
A lot.